Do you think that Michael Jordan would be as successful without you?
No.
In the world of basketball, few relationships have been as iconic, yet as complicated, as the one between Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. They were the heart and soul of the 1990s Chicago Bulls dynasty, winning 6 NBA championships together. But beneath the surface of their success, there was tension. The Pippen versus Jordan beef is a story of contracts, roles, egos, and ultimately respect. Let's dive into one of the most fascinating dynamics in NBA history. It's no secret that Michael Jordan is often called the greatest player of all time. 6 NBA championships, 5 MVPs, 10 scoring titles. Jordan had it all. But there's one player who was just as integral to those 6 championships, and that player was Scottie Pippen. Pippen was the ultimate sidekick, the perfect complement to Jordan's scoring, a 6'8" forward who could guard anyone, pass like a point guard, and contribute across the board. But despite being one of the best players of his generation, Pippen had a problem that would eventually cause some serious friction with MJ. It all started with Scottie's contract. Back in 1991, when Scottie was still a rising star, he signed a 7-year, $18 million deal with the Chicago Bulls. At the time, it was a good contract for a young player. But by the mid-90s, Pippen had transformed into one of the best players in the league. He was an all-star, an elite defender, and the backbone of the Bulls' defense. And yet, he was still stuck on a contract that paid him far less than his worth. Meanwhile, Michael Jordan was making a fortune. His 1997-98 contract alone was worth $33 million, a far cry from what Pippen was earning. And that's when things started to get tense. By 1997, Pippen was fed up. He felt undervalued by the Bulls' front office. So what did he do? He decided to take control of the situation by holding out. Pippen had surgery on his foot that offseason and, frustrated with his contract, delayed the procedure, effectively ensuring he'd miss part of the season. He wasn't going to play until the Bulls gave him a better deal. That move didn't sit well with Michael Jordan. Jordan, the ultimate competitor, felt betrayed. He didn't understand why Pippen would sit out and potentially hurt the team's chances at another championship. After all, they were in the middle of their second three-peat, and the Bulls were trying to defend their titles. But the tension didn't stop there. As the 1997-98 season wore on, another moment ignited the Pippen versus Jordan fire. It was Game 3 of the 1994 Eastern Conference semifinals. The Bulls were in a tight playoff battle against the New York Knicks. Coach Phil Jackson drew up a play for Tony Kukoc to take the game-winning shot. Pippen, frustrated, still upset about his contract, and now this moment, refused to re-enter the game. He let his emotions get the best of him. Jordan, watching from the sidelines as he was retired for a brief period, was furious. Not just because the Bulls were in a crunch time moment, but because his teammate, his sidekick, had chosen to sit out, unwilling to contribute in that key moment. It was a sign of the growing friction between them. In The Last Dance, Jordan was open about his frustration. He said that he would have never made that decision. But while he was critical of Pippen in the moment, looking back, he admitted that Pippen's role was just as important to the team's success as his own. Without Scottie, there would be no 6 championships. But the real story here isn't just about contracts or arguments. It's about the mutual respect that would eventually come through. Despite their issues, both players acknowledged that they couldn't have achieved their success without each other. Jordan needed Pippen's defense, playmaking, and versatility to win those titles. And Pippen needed Jordan's scoring and leadership to reach his full potential. After the 1997-98 season, Pippen was traded to the Houston Rockets, and both players moved on from the Bulls. But in the years that followed, they both reflected on their time together with fondness and respect. In the end, the Pippen versus Jordan beef wasn't a deep, long-standing feud. It was a reflection of the competitive pressures of the NBA and the frustrations that come with playing in the shadow of someone as great as Michael Jordan. But they were teammates, and at the end of the day, their combined efforts created one of the most dominant dynasties the NBA has ever seen. So while there were moments of tension between Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan, their story is one of teamwork, perseverance, and ultimate respect. Because in the NBA, Sometimes it's not about who's the best player, it's about who can elevate the team to greatness. And when it came to the Bulls, Jordan and Pippen did just that. What do you think? Was Pippen undervalued, or did he get exactly what he deserved? Let us know in the comments below.